So we're on our way to Batman v Superman. I always never know where that's right here. Okay. Never know where to look, but you know. So we're on our way to Batman v Superman. I'll kind of discuss a little bit on the way here. All the rated M for mature. Well, hey, the rated R version is, you know, not coming out until DVD. But anyway. Just got out of the movie, so it was interesting.
Wow.
But
The video is so dark.
it is really dark right here because you had to park in the farthest place ever. Anyway, so we will get back to you with our thoughts shortly-ish. Tomorrow, maybe later.
Oh, hello there.
Do you want to do it like
I
that?
was gonna say, I hope we get less awkward the more and more we do this. Welcome to our At the Movies or After the Movies segment. We had Batman v Superman this weekend. Mixed reviews all around, at least from what I've seen. I tried not to read too much into them just because I wanted to go in with like a fresh look at the movie, but I don't know.
It was kind of hard to avoid all the negative press, though.
Very much. I mean, the sad fleck thing was kind of funny.
It was amazing.
Funny and sad. I always laugh when anyone uses that song in a video, but yeah, it was kind of sad.
You said mixed reviews, but I mean, honestly, most of what I saw online was really negative about it.
Well,
But
it was
in
the critics
person-
that were giving it the negative reviews, and then like actual just moviegoers were giving it good reviews.
Oh, okay. Isn't Rotten Tomatoes viewers? Because I know it got really low on Rotten Tomato.
Yeah,
It was like a 31% or something?
Yeah, the other day when I looked, it was like 30-something%, and then the fans were the regular moviegoers were between like 70 and 80%.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is kind of weird. I guess looking at memes and all that stuff now, I'm seeing a lot of people are like, people who appreciate the comic will really like it, and the casual people won't. But then I, on the other hand, saw something that said the complete opposite. I was entertained by the movie. I was surprised, I guess, at the end, but in the beginning, it was kind of slow.
I did like the way that they set up the reason for Batman v Superman.
Yeah, they did that pretty well. Then the movie was pretty good overall. There were definitely some low points to it, it had some weirdness to it.
Yeah.
It did, like, okay, to watch this as kind of like, or like as if I'm reading, comic panel by panel, and it was just crazy. It was all over the place. You know, one page you're in one setting, the next one you're with the other character in another setting, which, yeah, I know from scene to scene, you gotta, keep things going and stuff, but I feel like it was too much sometimes.
The dialogue was awful at times.
At times.
Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it was alright, but most, like, every like, speech that was supposed to be kind of epic in it was just terrible. Like,
Do you think that was due in part because of the lines, or because of the actors, or both?
the first speech especially, I don't think that could have been delivered well. Like, I think that one was just really poorly written.
I think that's one of the lines that Kristen mentioned about reading it or hearing it as more of a comic book line. It makes sense more on the pages of a comic book.
Frame by frame, it would have made a little bit more sense, but at the same time, the speech itself was awful. Like, I feel like even reading that in a comic, like, because the last two words of that speech would have been in like its own frame, and it probably would have been like a two-panel thing, or a two-page panel.
Yeah.
And that would have been just the worst. It would have been like a shot of like Metropolis and Gotham, which are apparently right next to each other.
That's
I had no idea they were across the bay from each other.
I'll be the first to admit I'm not a huge DC fan.
I'm not either.
So
honestly.
I've never seen a map or anything like that. So I don't know if that's already been pointed out, but I did not know that they were that close
They're just
together.
neighbors.
I remember in Smallville, it used to take them a while just to get to Metropolis from Smallville. You know what state Metropolis Gotham is supposed to be in?
Well, Metropolis and Smallville are in
In
Kansas.
Kansas, yeah.
I don't know about Gotham.
Gotham seems like you're
Very New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're lower
Chicago
New York.
even.
Yeah, it's very much in that type of metro.
That's not exactly the coast that I thought
Yeah.
Gotham was on.
Being a pro Marvel fan, and like you said, oh, you're not too much into DC. Like I was when I was a kid, but I think I'm so lost to like not only the modern Superman, modern Batman. I'm just so lost as to like what's happening in the comics, so I don't really know I didn't know what to expect. I didn't see any of the Man of Steel movies. Like I think he does pretty well as Superman, honestly, casting wise. Henry.
He was okay.
Cavill. Sorry if I mispronounced that. A lot of people undershot Ben Affleck. I think he did a pretty good job.
I think he did really well with the part that he was given, with the lines that he was given. I think he did really well.
They overdid the crow's feet though. Like that was a little much.
He's an older, grizzled Batman though.
I have been saying the whole time I believed in the Batfleck.
Yeah.
I never denied it. I was just like, I always, like, when they announced it, I was like, okay, that's weird. I wouldn't picture him as Batman, but I want to see what he can do. I was never one of those, it's Ben Affleck, that's crazy.
I feel like Jaw alone, he's got Bruce Wayne
he's got
nailed.
The chin. He's got that chin down.
And so got the Bruce Wayne part nailed. Now we just need to make him cool as Batman. Oh my god. Freaking... when he was in the suit toward the end, the as you called
the Fallout 4
power
very
armor. Much power armor.
Oh no! When I was talking about the Fallout 4 armor, I was talking about the weird dream sequence.
Oh okay.
And
so
actually, that should have been Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
So
that coat,
that
I
derped
duster
it. My
type
bad.
deal. Yeah, and those are no spoilers. I mean, those are all featured in
all in the trailer,
photos, trailers, stuff like that. I think those were cool bat suits. I really enjoyed. Seeing Wayne Manor and what it is now, and even Alfred. I think that Jeremy Irons I don't think there was enough of him, to be honest.
I feel like a lot of the secondary supporting characters didn't get enough screen time, so I feel like they tried to give more emphasis on the scenes that they were in, and it just didn't quite work. Like I wasn't attached to any of the characters. The secondary characters.
That has to do with like the pacing too, because it was like you're here, you're there, you're here, you're there, and
I feel like Lois was in there for like one plot point, and then like for everything else, she was just a weird hindrance.
I like Amy Adams, but
I do too. So, and
she was just kind of weird in this one.
Really? Well, weird?
Not her performance, just her character. Like,
I mean, I feel like the problem with the movie, I mean, aside from going with Batman versus Superman, which is just a bad idea in the first place, I think it was just the writers didn't do it justice.
They didn't do it the dawn of justice?
See what you did there. Don't do that.
A lot of this is
you didn't get to talk about how much you hated Lex.
Lex Luthor. I don't know. The actor himself, I mean, I've only seen him in a handful of things. I mean, I've seen what he can do. I think from the beginning, I think back in one of our old casts, I've even said that he was kind of a peculiar choice for Lex Luthor. He played the crazy pretty well.
I get what he was trying to do with the character, but I don't feel like he was doing the character justice. I don't know.
At some point in the movie, too, like, I was kind of like, I still don't quite understand why he's here. And then it turns out he kind of ties stuff together in a weird way. And then I'm like, so all that build up with this character for this, you know, in the end sort of thing. And I'm like, I feel like I could have done without him in the movie, if that doesn't sound too mean, but I don't know. Just his character's portrayal was interesting. Again, not being too familiar with, you know, how he is in the comics, which I guess that's how he is. Maybe?
Well, I going along with what you just said, I feel like he could have been any villain. It didn't have to be Lex Luthor. It could have been random guy X doing the same thing. I feel like.
I think he was kind of hamstrung from the start. The actor, that is, or maybe the writers, I don't know who decided Lex was going to be that crazy this time around. Every portrayal of Lex Luthor we get in movies is businessman Lex Luthor.
That's true.
The future president Lex Luthor.
Because that's what he's supposed to be, right? He's supposed to be this outwardly, business guy who's got everything together, but then like his Batman alter ego is that he's this crazy villain who does like crazy stuff. But
yeah. And I mean, like I mentioned last night, he does go through phases in the comics where he's a little bit more psychotic, even publicly. But like that's not what we're used to seeing, and I don't think that's necessarily the version of Lex that made the most sense in this movie.
That's true.
If they had gone with what's his name from Smallville, like that version of Lex Luthor, where there's
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, if they'd gone with like the Michael Rosenbaum style Lex Luthor, where he's all business in public, but there's definitely some crazy under the surface. I feel like that would have made more sense in the movie because he's coming up with these weird, like, diabolical plans.
Yeah. And I mean, spoiler, not spoiler, like, he keeps mentioning, like, his daddy issues. But I never really felt for it because you never saw any of that. You never got any of, like, why he had those issues, really.
But would you wanted to have seen more random, like, flashbacks? I mean, there were so many
I didn't want flashbacks, but
so
I feel like that's stuff that could have been in another movie or a previous movie.
And I think
Something.
that's to what Steve had mentioned either before or last night, is the fact that they are trying to really catch up with Marvel, and they dove into Batman v Superman with a new Batman. I think that if they developed a lot of what we saw from the Batman side and then threw him in together with the Superman we're familiar with, I think it all would have tied in really well, because it was just so, like, here's so much backstory on so much stuff that, you might have missed, that it was just a lot of information in the beginning and a lot of scattered information and a lot of random scenes that were just like a collage of...
That's a good point, though. Like, they're definitely, obviously, trying to play catch-up with Marvel.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're doing it wrong. Marvel has had years now to pace it and get all their ducks in a row and get it right. And I think DC is so desperate right now to be where Marvel's at, and that's just not going to happen the way they want it to.
The thing that's really strange to me is DC has a pretty decent like TV universe going on.
I actually really like those shows.
And there were those two scenes in the movie that made it really obvious that they're trying to set up like the DC cinematic universe. Like they want to compete with Marvel on that level.
Yeah.
But those scenes felt really forced and weird, and they used different, I guess that's not really a spoiler, it's already everywhere. They used different characters, or different actors for characters that already exist within the TV universe, and that seems really strange. Yeah. Because it's not what Marvel's doing. Marvel's tying everything together.
Yeah, I think at some point, I think it was Stephen Amell, who plays Arrow, even voiced that he would love to be a part of, the DC cinematic universe, but they kind of got, like, brushed under the rug, I'm assuming. And then with the success of The Flash, like, I'm really surprised they didn't incorporate them into the movies, kind of like what Marvel's doing with your Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and putting that all together. And I don't know, DC, what's going on?
We also have like another movie coming out that's already kind of doing that, because the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah,
they already have the Suicide Squad in Arrow and Flash, but they're not using any of the characters from that. And if
that's going to confuse a lot of people too, who aren't familiar with the material.
Like your Fox versus what Disney owns now, Marvel. Like, a lot of people are confused now as to, well, in the comics it's like this, but with the movies it's like this, and so they're trying to like compete. But I think that they're doing it the right way, where now they're all kind of, okay, well we'll give you Spider-Man for your Civil War, which I'm sure was negotiation after negotiation, but at least they took that time to do so. I said it in the cast too. I wish that they would have used the TV versions of some of their characters to kind of support that.
The success of the TV shows, they should have used that to springboard into
Definitely.
their new DC cinematic universe, rather than try to tie in a Superman that didn't do incredibly well. Probably more based on opinions of the last
Right.
couple of scenes than anything else, because he's actually a pretty good Superman.
He's not bad.
And then new Batman and really weird version of the Suicide Squad, which, for the record, the trailer they played before Batman versus Superman.
What movie did we just watch? Okay.
The trailer they played before that made me even less excited about that movie.
It just, with every trailer and stuff that I'm seeing, though, I'm curiouser. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go see that, guys. But
We will, though.
we will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we will.
we're gonna.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not entirely sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
So-
know. I feel like DC's messing it up.
So overall, what did you guys think of the movie?
Go on.
I liked it, but it wasn't
Did you want
great.
some more of it?
I'm guessing
Really?
no.
I want to see more of Ben Affleck as Batman.
I do.
Which we will. Apparently, he's got 4 other movies lined up. So
Something like that.
I wouldn't mind seeing whatever his name is come back as Superman again.
Henry Cavill.
Totally.
That
Hank.
guy.
Wonder Woman, I definitely want her to have her own movie.
She, I think, stole the show. There wasn't enough of her, sadly.
But the movie on its own definitely had some issues. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good either.
what do you think?
It got better with time. It was kind of like a fine wine over time.
Just had to let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah, a little breathe. Let the dialogue, let all the backstory come out. The front half was a little odd as far as pacing. I understood the way they were trying to tell the story, but I feel like it was in a weird sort of rhythm that it took a really long time to finally catch its flow. This back half of the movie, excellent. I think the action scenes were really cool. Some of them kind of, you could tell, were very choreographed, very much so. But overall, I appreciated it. I think the casting was pretty good, with the exception of Lex. No offense, Jesse Eisenberg, but I'm still not sure about that one. But I was pleasantly surprised. I went in, not sure what to expect, but I'm still entertained. I was entertained by it.
I don't know. I'm still kind of mixed about it. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I appreciate what they're trying to do, and I hope that this actually works for them at some point. I'm just not sure they're doing it the way that they should be. And I'm not saying that they have to do it exactly like Marvel did, but the way Marvel did was doing it right.
Yeah.
They're doing it right. So, I mean, they might just have to...
They're just taking many, many years of preparation that Marvel did, and then they just went, all right, let's try and just jump in head first. And
I enjoyed it for what it was, and I really hope more good comes out of this, despite all the bad press.
And the funny press.
I feel like I got my money's worth. I enjoyed it. I wasn't mad when I came out of the movie. I wasn't upset that I went and saw this movie that I spent 2.5 hours of my life to see, but it wasn't bad. I don't think it deserves the bad press that it's getting.
Would you go see it again?
Yeah.
Would you?
Especially if someone else paid.
Really? No, I'm not paying for it.
I mean, I'll probably watch it again at some point, but not in theater.
Just to kind of catch some of the stuff that you didn't catch before.
Yeah.
We said we saw Deadpool, which was in another video, but we saw Deadpool twice, and we catch some of the things.
That was a really good movie too.
Yeah.
Besides the point. But yeah, I would give it another shot. Not sure how or when, but yeah. So thanks guys for watching. We'll have more videos after the movies for you very soon. Our next one up is Captain America. Is it Captain America's the next one?
I think it's Captain America.
Yeah.
Unless, well, yeah.
Captain America.